You ever hear someone say, man, that guy had ALL the talent in the world, but he just threw it all away? We're not talking about injuries. We're not talking about the guys who just didn't make the cut. We're talking about athletes who had the it factor, freak athleticism, elite skill, charisma, and hype, and then watched it all burn because of their own decisions. This is players who had it all and threw it away. Let's get into it. Let's start with the man who became synonymous with wasted potential in the NFL. JaMarcus Russell, LSU's golden arm, 6'6", 260 pounds, and a cannon that could throw 70 yards flat-footed. He dominated the 2007 Sugar Bowl, made Notre Dame look like a JV squad, and skyrocketed up draft boards. The Raiders made him the #1 overall pick in 2007 and handed him a $61 million contract with $32 million guaranteed. That was supposed to be the future of the franchise. And then everything fell apart. Russell showed up out of shape. He was lazy in film study. The coaching staff didn't trust him. The most infamous story. The Raiders gave him blank DVDs and asked him to review game tape. He came back the next day claiming he'd watched it. The discs were empty. This dude faked film study. He played just 3 seasons, threw 18 touchdowns and 23 interceptions, and was out of the league by 25. All the talent in the world. Zero work ethic. JaMarcus didn't just fumble the bag. He windmill slammed it into the ground. Next up, a guy who actually flashed generational ability. Josh Gordon. This man had a season in 2013 where he racked up 1,646 yards in just 14 games. Let me repeat that, 14 games. On a Cleveland Browns team with quarterbacks like Brandon Weeden and Jason Campbell, he was unguardable. Speed, size, body control, route running. He looked like a cross between Randy Moss and Julio Jones. But Gordon had a demon he just couldn't shake. Substance abuse, mainly weed and alcohol, derailed everything. Suspension after suspension piled up. The league gave him multiple lifelines, but he kept blowing them. 2014, suspended. 2015, suspended. 2016, you guessed it, suspended. Even when he got back with the Patriots and later the Seahawks, he couldn't stay eligible long enough to rebuild his career. He had Hall of Fame talent, but not the discipline or structure to keep it going. Josh Gordon didn't age out of the league. He smoked his career out of it. Now this is dark. Javaris Crittenton was a first-round pick in 2007. Big guard, solid handles, athletic, plenty of upside. The Lakers saw potential. So did the Grizzlies and the Wizards, who took a shot on him during his short career. But instead of developing as a player, Crittenton got caught up in the wrong kind of spotlight. In 2009, he was involved in one of the most infamous incidents in NBA history, a locker room gun standoff with Gilbert Arenas over a gambling debt. Real guns, in a pro sports locker room, on federal property. In Washington, D.C., the incident torched his reputation. But the story doesn't stop there. In 2011, Crittenton was charged with murder for the shooting death of an innocent woman in Atlanta. Reports say he was trying to shoot a rival gang member who'd robbed him, but he hit a 22-year-old mother instead. In 2015, he was sentenced to 23 years in prison. Javaris Crittenton didn't just throw away his career. He threw away everything, his freedom, his future, and someone else's life. You knew he'd be here. Antonio Brown. And look, nobody's denying the numbers. Between 2013 and 2018, AB was the most productive wide receiver on the planet. He was faster, quicker, and more precise than anybody else. He dominated defenses. Made Pro Bowls look like preseason. He was putting up Madden numbers weekly. But his ego? That was bigger than his stat line. The meltdown started in Pittsburgh, beef with Big Ben, blaming coaches, Instagram Live in the locker room, fights with teammates. It became a circus. He forced his way out. Landed with the Raiders. Didn't even play a game. Why? Frostbite from cryotherapy. Helmet grievances. Screaming at Mike Mayock. Recording private calls with John Gruden. Then he landed with the Patriots. Played 1 game. Got released after sexual misconduct allegations. Finally, he won a Super Bowl with Brady in Tampa Bay, and still couldn't hold it together. He walked off the field mid-game against the Jets, shirtless, during a live broadcast. That wasn't just the end of the game. That was the end of his career. Antonio Brown didn't just burn bridges, he blew up the whole damn interstate. Now here's a more complex case. Royce White, one of the most unique talents in college basketball. A 6'8 inches forward with point guard vision, elite strength, and the mind of a chess player. The Rockets drafted him 16th overall in 2012. They thought they were getting the next big mismatch nightmare. But Royce battled severe anxiety, especially a fear of flying. He wanted structure, accommodations, and mental health support that simply didn't exist in the NBA at that time. Instead of quietly working behind the scenes to adjust, he went public, criticized the league, the Rockets, even fellow players. He took the fight for mental health mainstream. Noble cause. But the NBA isn't built for off-court activism if you haven't proven yourself on court yet. He played 3 NBA games. Most of his career was spent bouncing around the G League and overseas while debating analysts and posting threads on Twitter. Royce had the talent, the IQ, and the platform. But he couldn't, or maybe wouldn't, separate his mission from his profession. He didn't just fade out. He chose a different path altogether. So what's the moral here? Talent isn't enough. You can have the gifts. You can have the size, the speed, the instincts, the contract, the hype. But if your mentality isn't right, if your habits are weak, if your focus is fractured, all that potential, gone. These weren't fringe players. These were stars, top picks, franchise guys, future legends. But they lost it all, not to injury, not to bad luck. They lost it because of themselves. Let me know in the comments, which of these players shocked you the most? Who else deserves to be on this list? And if you're feeling this kind of deep dive, hit that drop a comment and subscribe for more because we've got plenty more stories coming. I'll see you in the next one.